Hey guys, Jim here. Welcome in once again. Today we're going to be taking a look at one of my absolute favorite makers. A design that he has been greatly successful with for the past 4 years, and I'm finally just now getting around to getting one of these in my hands and on the channel, and that is, of course, the Ramon Chaves Redención 229 Ultramar made by Riot. That's a huge mouthful of words, but I got to tell you, it is a huge handful of knife as well, and one of the best made hard use knives you're going to get your hands on. Now, a lot of times we would refer to a knife like this as overbuilt, or, maybe 5 years ago, 10 years ago, you could absolutely call this overbuilt. As a matter of fact, when I got my custom back in 2013, the end of 2013, I'm fairly certain that I would have referred to this as overbuilt in the review that I did, because for the time, this was. And the custom was a little bit thicker and larger. But these days, putting this up against any other overbuilt knives, it doesn't seem that way. This is just a good, solid, everyday carry knife that could be used for hard cutting tasks that you're not going to shy away from using, because it does have a particular boldness, not just to the aesthetics and the look of it, but it feels robust in the hand. You know that you're holding a very serious knife when you've got this in your hands. This is not a tactical knife. This is not an art knife. This is nothing delicate. This is not a gentleman's carry. This is just a great all-around EDC, and I would call it a work knife as well. It is going to be a workhorse for you. Although, that action. There are knives that you pay a lot of money for as a collector that don't have an action this good, that don't feel overall this refined, even though, again, this is more along the lines of a work knife than it is anything else. But it kind of wants to wander into other categories. And I got to tell you, we're going to have some fun with this knife. This is going to be a two-part video. I haven't decided if I'm going to wedge all this into one video that's going to be in two parts, or if I'm going to separate them, make video A and video B yet. But what I've chosen to do is use this as a platform. Use this as an artistic canvas to do something pretty damn cool. Now, I don't want to really say artistic, because what I'm going to be doing is rather silly. It's a theme that I find very attractive. You guys may not take it as seriously as I do. The whole thing is for fun. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be taking this knife in its bare naked form, as gorgeous as it is, as sleek and smooth as it is in this form. I'm going to be taking it, shipping it out to Way of Knife, and letting them have their way with it. Yeah, sure. So we're going to be doing some laser work, some anodizing work, some customization to make this fit a theme that sings to me in particular. Now, even if you don't like the theme that I have chosen for it, I think that you're going to have a great appreciation for the work that they're performing. So let's go ahead and take a close-up look at this. We'll get into a little bit of story time. We'll talk about the original Redención custom that birthed this incredible production knife, what the differences were, how similar they are, where they came from, and what I'm going to do to this bad boy. Let's go ahead and get down to it right now and have some fun.
Why are you doing this? Why? Isn't the universe big enough for both of us? What is wrong with you people? We could work together. Why be enemies? Because we're different? Is that why? Think of the things that we could do. Think how strong we would be. Earth and Mars together. There is nothing that we could not accomplish.
All right, so I definitely screwed this up. Months and months and months have gone by, almost a half a year, before I finally got up off my ass and sent the knife out to Way of Knife. And during that time, I had deleted the close-up tabletop review that I had done on the Bare Naked Standard 229. And in the interim, I've actually reviewed this, the kickstop variation. Now, this, more or less, is what the Bare Naked Standard Ultramar 229 looks like. And now, this is what it looks like. And they did such an amazing job. It is so wild. It is so obnoxious. It is so in your face and ridiculous. And I couldn't ask for more. It looks utterly amazing.
Nevada sun like a giant hubcap.
And the best part of it all is they really don't charge a ridiculous amount of money to completely transform your knife like this. As you see from A to B, it is wildly different. It has a completely new personality. Now, typically, when I modify or have customized any production knives that I have, I go for unique themes, something that I've come up with and that I work with that modifier, and I've done that over the years, to create something wholly different. And I didn't do that this time. I will admit that unfortunately, I saw somebody else's project and went, oh hell, that's what I need. And I know how that feels because for, a decade, as long as I've had my YouTube channel and I've shown either one-off customs that were made for me or taken a knife and then had it modified, I've seen, a dozen people come back and go, hey, I just had my knife made just like yours. So yay, mine isn't unique anymore. So I know how that feels. And it's not that big of a deal, but I do feel bad for whomever it was that had their knife done in the same way. And I just came along and went, hey, shit, that's cool. Make mine like that. The saving grace is they did it on a Demco AD20. And I saw the theme and went, that's perfect. That's going to look amazing on a 229. It's like this big, huge blank canvas with so much area to work on. Now, I did want to alter the theme a bit, and it didn't work out to my benefit, unfortunately, because I couldn't provide the artwork that was required. I wanted to get the, as they call her, the Madam Martian. I wanted to have her done somewhere on the back, and I wanted some different things done with the clip and things like that. And I wanted to incorporate one of the alien ray guns, and it just wasn't possible because I couldn't get them the artwork that they needed. And what I will tell you is this. They, Ben and, I don't know Marcus, but Ben and Marcus are very, very easy to work with. And all they want to do is just make you a kick-ass knife that's going to be yours and feel special to you. And this really did feel special when I opened up the box as it arrived just about a half an hour ago. I've been giddy like a little girl in pigtails. And I really got that feeling of this is really cool, this is really special, this is really fun. This is a completely frivolous knife at this point, and I love it for that. I think it's just awesome. And there are going to be plenty of people that are going to go, why?
Why are you doing this?
What the hell? whether it's the colors or the Mars Attacks theme, they're just not going to get it. And that's okay, because it's not their knife. But I wanted this so bad, and I had it in my head the whole time. And during the time where I moved halfway across the country and, had to pick up and move my shop, and then the injuries and health issues that I've had along the way and in and out of the hospital and stuff, I quite simply dropped the ball. And I remembered it one day and went, oh shit. And I messaged Ben back. I'm like, dude, I am so sorry that I went into this whole discussion with you and then never followed up and sent you the knife. So can we remedy that? Do you have time to take this custom order? And he's like, hell yeah, man, absolutely, let's do this shit. So I got it out to him a few days later, got him paid, got him PayPal'd, and they were just awesome to deal with. But I will say, don't do it the way that I did it. I was kind of a pain in the ass because I dealt with Ben through Facebook Messenger. And even in that conversation, he's like, do you not want to go through the website and put your order in that way? I'm like, oh crap, if that's easier for you, I'll go do that. He's like, no, because that's not why I bring it up, because I just want to make sure how you want to do this. You want to do it through Messenger, or you want to do it through our website? Because I guess on their website you can fill out the things that you want done, and you could provide artwork and things like that. And then everything's on one form. And then no matter who in the shop is picking up your project that day, they're going off of one sheet, I'm sure, that they've printed out as to what your order is. So there's no confusion. I don't do it like I did and do it through Messenger, because then they're going to follow up with you through email and confirm your order, and all the shipping addresses and all that stuff. And things can get lost in translation. And a couple things got lost in translation here. One of the things that I had said was, I don't want anything at all done to the blade, and they lasered the blade. And that's fine. It's not like I'm, upset about it or anything. It's just a different vision than what I had in my head for the past 6 months. And I wanted to do something with the clip and a few things like that. Just additional little things that I wanted to change, just to make it a little bit different from the one that they had already done. And obviously that stuff wasn't done because I was going through around and outside of their typical system. So that's entirely on me. So I'm not upset in any fashion, because they really knocked this out of the park. It looks really good. The colors are vibrant. They did a beautiful job on the anodizing. Did a great job on the laser work. It's nice and crisp and clean. It's not very easy to photograph, like the alien head wants to come out kind of out of focus and fuzzy when the light is at a certain way like this. When you're photographing it, I realized that right away. But they did such an amazing job. And I got the knife back operating every bit as perfectly as it was when I sent it away. So don't have any fears about someone taking apart your knife and then doing work to it and being afraid that, the detent's not going to feel the same. It's not going to be centered, and the lockup's not going to be the same. This knife is 100% functionally the same way it was when I shipped it out. So if you've ever wanted to do something like that, if you've ever looked at the Instagram and saw their crazy colorful creations and went, that'd be kind of neat, but I don't know, they're going to be too expensive, or it's going to be too much of a hassle to deal with it, or I'm going to get a knife back that doesn't operate the same way. Don't have any of those fears. Their prices are fantastic, and the service was quick. It was obviously very skillfully done, and I have zero complaints whatsoever. And while this may not be a knife that anybody else may ever be interested in the future, I don't care, because this is a knife that I knew I loved enough to keep in my collection. This wasn't even talked about at that point. Nobody even knew the kickstop was even coming out. So I knew I'd be keeping this in my collection, so I wanted to do something cool. And I even called Ramon and said, "Hey, this is what I want to do. This may not be, exactly what your vision is for your design, but I'm like, I think it's a really great foundation because you've got such a large, open canvas here that so many things could be done." He's like, "Yeah, man." He goes, that sounds like it might be actually kind of cool." So I've even kept him waiting because I haven't done this for so damn long. But I'm so happy now that it's done and that I'm able to share it with you, and I get to carry it and play with it and fondle it and all that kind of good stuff. A couple little extra things I want to talk about here. There are people out there that don't like what a lot of people call the lightning anno or entropic. I think it's entropic is how it's pronounced. Anodizing process that was done on the clip and backspacer. I didn't request that. They did it on their own, and I love it. I think it looks so friggin' cool. It's kind of like having Timascus, but not. It's a completely unique pattern. No two knives or no two components will ever be exactly alike. So if you decided, hey, I want to do something ridiculous and stupid and over the top, just like Jim's knife, that clip will not look the same as mine. That backspacer will not look the same as mine. Everything that you do when you do that entropic finish will be unique. I'm trying to get a close-up here so that you can see it a little bit better on the backspacer. There we go. Really, really cool. It looks better on the clip, I think, because there's just more surface area. So it looks like the random lightning storm going through the skull clip. I think it's so fantastic. And I've wanted to do something with them for years, since I first started following them on Instagram, probably 7 or 8 years ago. And I'm sure in the past I've sent them messages going, hey, let's do something cool together. And either I didn't follow through or something, I don't know. So I'm really glad that I finally got the chance to do this. I'm very, very happy with the knife. I'm very excited about it. And it's just, it's fun. And sometimes you just want fun, right? Not everything has to be about how incredible the heat treat is and how great the edge retention is and if it's going to whittle hairs. Sometimes we just want a knife only for it looks cool and it makes me smile. And while the Chaves knives obviously perform phenomenally well, that's why they're as popular as they are, these knives make me smile. I picked this up. I almost flipped it like it was the kickstop. I picked this up and I'm like, wow, that is so friggin' cool. And when you can have that level of excitement and fun with something as typically serious as an EDC tool, as a knife is, I think it adds an extra layer of appreciation for owning that particular tool. So there she is in all of her green and purple glory. I'm super happy. So to Ben and Marcus, thank you guys for an outstanding job, for incredibly quick turnaround, very professional manner in which you handled everything, and didn't even give me hell for being lazy and not shipping my damn knife out for what seems like about 6 months. So thank you guys so very much. I really love it. I think it's awesome. And while it may not be everybody's cup of tea, realize that this is not the only stuff they do. They don't just do theme knives. They don't just do bright, crazy, wild colors. They obviously do that, but they also offer a lot more subtle things as well. Even if you just said, I just want the whole thing done in a very classic look, a very elegant look. I want to do gold anodizing, like a very elegant two-tone or something. Or I want to just have my initials engraved on the pocket clip, something like that. Whether it's a small job or a big job, they're up for handling all of that. And if they were able to do this as quickly as they did, I think this was out of my possession for maybe 2 weeks. And that's with ship time included both ways. Then they can certainly handle a smaller job and do that very, very quickly as well. So there she is, guys, my Mars Attacks Chaves 229. I hope you guys like it. If you don't care. It makes me smile, and that's all that really matters. Thanks for joining me as always, and I'll see you on the next video.